Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a Husky send-off. The UConn men head to Texas on the road to the championship.
A reported miracle 2 weeks from Easter is being investigated at some of the highest levels of the Catholic Church. I'm Matt Karen reporting in Thomaston. We have exclusive video from inside St. Thomas and an interview with the Archbishop.
Plus, a teen drowns after running from police. The community reacting tonight.
A brief but intense round of rain and snow while we're sleeping tonight. We're talking timing coming up.
And jumping for joy. From freestyle to double Dutch, a local jump rope team has their eyes on the prize as they head to nationals.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
The road to the championship is on. A big send-off today for the Huskies as the men's basketball team heads down to Texas for the Final Four. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the news at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. The Huskies are off to Houston, but not before getting a massive send-off from their fans at home.
Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live at UConn with more on all the excitement. Gabby?
Guys, it just feels so good to be a UConn fan. How great is it to be from Connecticut and just know that everyone is rooting for the Huskies to bring that 5th title home here to Storrs. Fans from all over the state were here for that send-off. Take a look. Crowds of fans cheered on the Huskies as they got on the bus to head to Houston for the Final Four. Now, the last time they made it this far was almost a decade ago, back in 2014. That was also the last time they won a championship. So they are hoping to do the same thing this year. And this team has just been dominating in the tournament so far. Double-digit wins over every single team they've played against. Fans say that they are feeling good as they head into this next round, and they are cheering on the team all season long. They wanted to make sure that they were here for them today as well.
We wish we could all go to Houston if we could, so we're just excited to see them before they go.
Yeah, we've been supporting for all the home games, as many as we could this season, so we're super excited that they've made it to this point and can't wait to watch from here.
We'll be at Gamble to watch the game, so it'll be really fun.
Fans here at home will be watching at Gamble Pavilion on Saturday night. That game is scheduled for 8:49 p.m. Live in Storrs, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Gabby, thank you. And Fox 61 will continue to have live team coverage of March Madness and UConn's run for another national title. You can catch our coverage anytime on Fox 61 Plus. All right, turning to the weather now, a sunny day across the state.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Rach, what's coming our way here?
We've got some rain and even snow in parts of the state as we head through the overnight hours. So the timing is really going to help us out here. If this were during the middle of the day, we'd have all kinds of travel issues, but it could still result in some slippery spots after midnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. It's from a cold front that will bring us colder and blustery conditions heading into the day tomorrow. But right now we're doing great, close to 50 in the Hartford area, temperatures in the upper 40s along the Connecticut shoreline. Notice as we head towards midnight, we've got some rain and snow moving into Litchfield County. And while you're sleeping, this is 1 a.m., it continues to push farther south and east. I do think the line will start to lose some of its intensity by the time it makes it to Groton, Stonington, for example. And by around 3:30 in the morning, it's all out of here. Temperatures will be dropping pretty sharply after the front passes through. So we go from 40s out ahead of it down into 30s and even 20s as we head towards daybreak. So even though we're not expecting much, if any, accumulation out of this, some areas might be able to pick up a quick coating or dusting in spots, especially in the hills. There could still be a few slippery spots from wet roadways turning slippery, so roads may need some treatment overnight. We'll see overnight lows close to 30 degrees. Otherwise, it's a full sunny day, a gusty breeze, but highs climbing into the low to mid 40s as we head through the afternoon. Warmer but wet heading into the weekend. Your full forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Police have now identified the 17-year-old Waterbury boy who drowned in Lakewood Lake on Tuesday while running away from police. Fox 61's New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc spoke exclusively with his family and his friends who are hurting tonight. She joins us live right near the scene where all of it happened. Julia?
Hi, Ben. The 17-year-old who lost his life in this lake yesterday has been identified as Benjamin Payton, but his friends and family called him Benny Jr. We actually just spoke with them about an hour ago as they went to drop off that balloon and that candle over there. And right now, they are remembering him as funny, kind, caring, talented, and so much more.
I saw like his mom just like, she couldn't breathe or anything. It was just like, this is real.
Naya Cooper and her sister Tony grew up with Benny Jr. Today, they're wrapping their arms around his sister and the entire Payton family, now dealing with the loss of a child, a brother, a cousin, and more.
He was that brother that I can trust. He was that friend that I never had a fallout with.
Benny Jr. lost his life in this lake on Tuesday after running from police. Just after noon, Waterbury police say one of their officers found a stolen car near Greeleytown Road. Nearby, they found another stolen car on Sage Drive. That one was full of people. When the officer approached, they ran away.
He let it be known, like, that's probably one of his like biggest fears, being black and having an encounter with police.
That can go so many ways.
It can go multiple ways.
Police say they arrested a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old boy right away, but two others ran into a wooded area near the lake. A 17-year-old came out and was arrested, but Benny Jr. stayed behind, and police say he went underwater. When police went to look for him, they were unsuccessful, but dive teams ultimately found Benny.
Once I found out it was him, I'm gonna be honest, I completely dropped. I dropped down in tears.
Janiyah Gibbs is Benny's cousin. She drove by yesterday and saw the police response.
It's like, ain't no way I'm watching you grow up and now you're gone.
Benny's family remembers him as a silly 17-year-old. They say he loved basketball, he was smart, and he was caring. They believe they got a sign from him yesterday.
It was more yellow in the sunset than orange, surprisingly, and yellow was one of his favorite colors, so I was like, that's Benny.
Now, Benny was also a junior at Crosby High School here in Waterbury. The district tells me that they did offer some support services for staff and students that needed it today. I also spoke with a student who says that they decorated Benny Jr.'s locker today as a memorial in honor of him. Now, the family has also started a GoFundMe page. We will link to that on fox61.com. We're live in Waterbury. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Really sad, Julia. Thank you. Well, new tonight, Plainfield police are investigating a suspicious death after a body was spotted by a school bus driver. Police say 78-year-old Elizabeth Hill was found unconscious in a driveway on Beechwood Boulevard. She was later pronounced dead. There were students on the bus when the body was spotted. The Plainfield superintendent sent a note to parents saying very few students may have seen what happened and that there would be counselors on hand to provide supports for the students that need it. Well, the state police trooper accused of giving his girlfriend access to a police computer system was arraigned today. Mitchell Paz is accused of giving Amanda Marino access to information about an ongoing drug investigation. The investigation involved the father of Marino's child. Paz has been suspended from state police without pay.
We have an update now. The man previously identified as a person of interest in a Meriden homicide has now been charged in that case. Warren Watson is accused of shooting and killing Sean Mojica earlier this month on West Main Street. A woman was also injured in the incident. She's expected to survive. Watson appeared in court last week on unrelated charges. A Mansfield high school was evacuated this morning after receiving a threat. Police say the threat was called into Edwin O. Smith, better known as E.O. Smith High School, just after 8 a.m. Students and staff were evacuated out of an abundance of caution. Police searched the school and determined that there was no credible threat.
Well, a man opened fire at a Norwich police officer in 2021, and now an independent review has found the use of deadly force by that officer was justified.
Tonight, we're getting a bit of a closer look at that dash cam video and also breaking down the reasoning behind the decision released today by the Office of the Inspector General. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez joining us here in studio to explain. Samaya?
Ben and Jen, this was an AR-15 style rifle, and it was traced back to a 2015 purchase from a North Carolina pawn shop. Now, in 2021, a 28-year-old man used that rifle to fire 18 shots at a Norwich police officer's cruiser near the woods one night. That officer fired back after the man dropped the gun. Now, a 41-page report by the Inspector General finds that that use of force was justified under Connecticut law. October 2021, Officer Scott DuPoint, then an 11-year veteran of the Norwich Police Department, responding to multiple 911 calls reporting shots fired around Westwood Park housing development. Dash camera shows overhead spotlights shining on 28-year-old Andrew Olone, and we see Olone fire at Officer DuPoint's cruiser, 18 rounds to be exact, 11 of them hitting the Explorer's windshield, passenger window, and engine, several rounds piercing nearby homes and a car.
This individual posed a risk to others in the community.
Officer DuPoint took cover and eventually fired 2 shots in the direction of Olone. Seconds after he dropped the gun and fled the scene, Olone was not hit. A new report by the Inspector General finds that use of deadly force was justified under Connecticut law. Elliot Spector is an attorney and former Hartford police officer who has worked on use of force cases since the early 90s.
The Supreme Court has said, and it's been the law since 1985, if an officer has reason to believe that the subject poses a risk of serious physical injury or death, then the officer can respond with deadly force. And that certainly was the case here, and it's consistent with the Inspector General's findings.
Inspector General Robert Devlin's 41-page report says the evidence strongly suggests that had Officer DuPoint not ducked beneath the windshield of the vehicle, he stood a great chance of being struck by one of the bullets fired by Olone. Mr. Olone had just fired a semi-automatic rifle at Officer DuPoint, and the officer was under the continuous belief that Olone was a threat to himself and members of the community. Accordingly, I conclude that under the circumstances presented, Officer DuPoint justifiably used deadly force. We do want to be clear that although this was a use of deadly force case, the use of force did not result in death in this case. Olone, who reportedly suffers from mental illness, did surrender to police after this incident. He is due in court next week on a slew of charges, including shooting at an officer. I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Samaya, thank you. Well, Newington police are warning residents of a citation scam. They say residents are getting calls from someone claiming to be with the police department. The callers tell residents that they have unpaid traffic violations and need to pay them using prepaid credit cards. Police reminding residents that they will never demand payment over the phone and that you should never give out personal financial information to an unsolicited caller.